Hey there. It is almost the end of August and it's time for another garden tour. Since I did a garden tour earlier this month already to show you how it had been way overgrown after I neglected it for several weeks, let's see what changed. And just for fun, I'm going to start at the opposite end of the garden that I usually do. So let's see what's changed in the past few weeks. One thing I am super excited about are these sunchokes. I had hoped that they would have flowered by now, but they are still growing. And so I'm hoping that under the ground, I'm going to have lots of sunchokes, also known as Jerusalem artichokes. There are a total of 5 plants, and I've been barely watering them. They're still doing okay. Speaking of things I'm barely watering, the clematis here that I transplanted earlier this year did not bloom, which is a bummer, but it is still alive, and so hopefully will bloom next year. And its little raspberry partner's doing great. My son's little fort here is still an absolute catastrophe, but you know, little boys will do that, and it makes them happy. All right, my shade garden is still kind of, well, a few things are alive, and I don't really know what's going to go on here. Maybe I'll plant some cilantro. All right, let's take a look. The raspberries, I am so happy with how the raspberries came out. Looks like I might have lost a couple of plants, but since that happened after they fruited, that's okay. And there are enough here that are doing well that I'm not too worried about next year. All right, this little shortcake raspberry is doing great. And I've got a bunch of pieces of the clematis that are still trying to come back. On the upside, they're good mulch. Biggest success story I've had this year, I think, are the nasturtiums. Not only are they absolutely delicious, but they've been going everywhere, and I love it. The mints are super happy. This bed, which is in its first year, is doing pretty well. Lots of volunteer tomatoes. This tomato, I am very confused. All of the tomatoes at the bottom have this dark kind of rotten spot. If anyone knows what's going on there, tell me in the comments. But some other things are doing well, like the sorrel, the nasturtium, another sorrel. The leeks that I planted around are super happy. And those are doing well. What the heck came and ate? Something apparently came and ate my cauliflower. What the heck? Oh, that sucks. To investigate that, I guess. Somebody else has been eating these cauliflower leaves. Cauliflower is not flowered yet. I hope it will. Let's see. Got this volunteer squash thing. I don't know what it is. Something has clearly been nibbling on it. It's very rude. Not happy about that. The blueberries are kind of overgrown. I'll need to clip them back in the not distant future. More nasturtium. The herbs are absolutely going gangbusters, including the caraway. I'm so delighted that I've got some caraway growing. I don't know what this is. It doesn't smell like anything, so I think it's probably just a weed. Tarragon, sage, sweet marjoram. Everyone over here is doing super well. Somebody's phone is ringing, including the watercress here, which looks like it might be dying back a little bit, but it's still going. Still got some new growth here. Let's see, chives, nasturtiums, the comfrey. I keep cutting back and tossing the leaves down as either mulch or into my compost. It's supposed to be a compost activator. That seems to be going well. Here, doesn't look like a lot is growing. We got some volunteer potato that's still going. The super happy nasturtium. And a few leeks that are still kind of holding on. But not a lot is really thriving here. I'll have to figure out what to do with this. It might end up like being a sweet potato bed or nasturtiums or, yeah, we'll see. Lemon balm has come back after I chopped it down again. That's fine. You can eat your weeds. Let's see. This funny little short raspberry here. It's actually been giving me a few fruits this late in the season. It's hilarious. Little carrots. Should have put more dirt in these carrot bags, but since this is the first time I've grown carrots, you know, it's a learning experience. Looks like somebody, probably a squirrel, tried to dig up my carrot. Very rude. My meadow is just going wonderfully. I mowed some of the grass down and kind of weed whacked a bit so that we could walk around, but you can see there are still a lot of flowers. I am so happy with how this turned out. Yeah. Got some tomatoes. I actually pulled potatoes. I actually pulled some of them out here the other day to eat. So pretty happy with that. Let's see, clover everywhere, which is awesome. Garlic chives doing well, going to flower. I should probably cut those off, but I actually need to repot these guys because the pot that they're in is falling apart. All right, some kind of squash, and this is my current chaotic, actually built raised bed that is less chaotic than it was in some ways and more chaotic than others. Got some leafy greens going to seed, which is good, but I think that some of them might have already gone to seed and had their babies are actually starting to grow up now. This might be arugula. I'm not sure. I'll have to find out. Oh, got another red vein sorrel here that's delicious and happy. Sage, parsley. Dang, I need to give this one a haircut. I rearranged the nasturtium bit so it's more going that way, and that made things a little bit more manageable. Lots of tomatoes. I don't think I actually planted any of these tomatoes. They're almost all volunteers. Another leafy green going to seed. I think I've got some radishes that have gone to seed as well, so we'll just kind of find out what comes up. This is, I think, a kohlrabi. We'll see what it ends up being. I was hoping to plant some seeds in here for the fall, but right now I just don't have room. We've got this squash that volunteered. Oh, and as I investigated, I discovered I actually have beans. I didn't realize that any of the beans I planted had actually taken, but they have, and I've been picking them, and they're really good. All right, my chive is flowering. I actually let it flower this time. Usually I pull the flowers off to keep it growing, but this year I decided it'd be okay if it died back. So we'll see if that actually happens. And over here, got some dill, got a different kind of bean. Oops. The squash. Let me see if I can find different kind of bean, which is just wonderful. I love beans. And some onions and other chaos going here. I think this may be a pepper. Not sure. But yeah, definitely a dill. Definitely. Lots of guys going to seed here. Looks like seed pods may have actually shed their seed. Oh no, you got some seeds in there, don't you? Yeah, I really need to come down out here and actually collect the seeds any seeds that I haven't already scattered, that is. But yeah, if I end up having just successive generations of leafy greens and radishes and onions growing in these beds, I will not be sad at all. Probably going to have a lot of nasturtiums coming too, because the seeds, which by the way are delicious, have just been falling everywhere. All right. The mock orange I planted here did not survive. The rhododendron's looking happy though, as is this pepper, which is finally flowering. It's the sweet pepper. Tarragon's doing great. Got some bunch of onions. And then these wonderful tomatoes, which are finally turning red. Which, unfortunately, my dog has discovered them. And I periodically catch her eating some of my tomatoes in various stages of ripe. I wish she would cut it out. That's such is life when you have a dog that likes tomatoes. Yeah, this is going to be so much fun. I have no idea what any of these varieties are. I think this is either Roma or San Marzano. Whatever it is, I've got a lot of it. And that concludes this episode of Make Men Grow. I hope you enjoyed this garden tour. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. See you next time.